الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الحمد لله نستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له أشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله المبعوث بين يدي الساعة داعيا إلى الله بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه ووالاه أما بعد فيا عباد الله أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله وحثكم على طاعة الله وطاعة رسوله لعلكم ترحمون قال الله تعالى في كتابه الكريم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وأطيعوا الله والرسول لعلكم ترحمون. My dear brothers, first of all, we praise and thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all His blessings. And we also invoke peace and blessing upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his family, his companions, and all those who follow him doing good deed till the day of judgment. Today, I would like just to talk briefly about Palestine. I believe you have heard from many imams or khatib about Palestine. But what is interesting is the word Palestine you can't find in the Quran and you can't find in the Hadith either. Well, because at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, that land which is called Ard al-Muqaddasah in the Quran, I mean the holy land or sacred land, was part of Asham or Greater Syria. But what is shown in the Quran is the mention or the reference to Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. So where Palestine stands today, that where Masjid Al-Aqsa is located. Allah said in Surah Al-Isra, ayat number 1, سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى الذي باركنا حوله لنريه من آياتنا إنه هو السميع البصير. Glory be to him or to Allah who transported his servant by night from the sacred house in Mecca, or from Masjid al-Haram, the sacred mosque, to the farthest mosque in Jerusalem, because the city was called Jerusalem, the precinct of which we have blessed Allah said, in order to show the Prophet some of our signs. Indeed, Allah is all hearing or all seeing. So this is one of the references in the Quran with regard to the land. Otherwise, Allah will call it al-ard twice, meaning the land, and al-ard al-muqaddasah once, which means the holy land or the sacred land. But that is referred in Surah At-Tin, Wat-Tin wal-Zaytun. So they still Zaytun to refers to the land. But who, according to the history, who first gave the name of Palestine to that area was a Greek historian in the 5th century before Christ. So that when it started to become, because at that time the Greek divide the Syria into two part. But according to Islam, for sure it was part of Asham, or the Greater Syria. That is why it is very significant and important for the Muslims. Why? Because first of all, that is the first destination, the Prophet of his Isra. And after that, followed by Mi'raj, or the ascension. So the night journey from Mecca to Palestine today, or to Beit al-Maqdis. It is called Beit al-Maqdis, but in modern term they call Al-Quds. Before they call Beit al-Maqdis. Then number one. Number two, or secondly, why it is so important for the Muslim? Because it was the first Qibla in prayer. After the Hijrah of Rasulullah to Medina, the Rasulullah was commanded by Allah to lead prayer facing Beit al-Maqdis or Masjid al-Aqsa. I think for about 16 months, until Allah revealed to the Prophet the new command to change the direction, to turn from north to the south. This is to the Masjid al-Haram, or the sacred mosque in Mecca, until today. So the point here is it was the second Qibla of the Muslims. It's very important. And also thirdly, because the third mosque to which the Prophet ﷺ encouraged us to strive or to make every effort to visit. It is one of the three mosques, which is Haram, Mecca, Nabawi in Medina, and Al-Aqsa in Jerusalem. And as we know, in the Quran, Allah mentioned that when Musa alayhi salam, the Prophet Musa alayhi salam, was raised by Allah to take back Bani Israel from Egypt to their homeland, it is to the Holy Land, or to Palestine today. And then his people refused to fight. When Allah commanded them to fight the pagans who occupied the land at the time, they refused. Because they refused, and then Allah SWT make haram to them that land for 40 years, one generation. So not only Bani Israel could not enter the land, they were straying in the desert. Even the Musa himself had to die in the desert, could not enter because of the refusal to fight the cause of Allah to free the land. After that, only in the time after the death of the Prophet Musa alayhi salam, the Prophet Yusha bin Nun or Joshua successfully took back the Israel into the Holy Land. But after that, they were expelled again by other nations. Why? Because Allah punished them. Among other nations, first by provoking and raising the Babylonian to invade their land and to ransack everything, including to burn and destroy the original manuscript of Torah. That's where they lost the Torah. And then, in the time of Dhul Qarnayn, so he's the king who brought them back to the Holy Land from exile in Babylonia. And after that, they committed another crime. Allah punished them by also provoking the Roman to invade them as well and to colonize their country. Until the time of the Prophet Isa alayhi salam, the land was under the rule of Romans. But as far as Islam is concerned, after Islam, who was the first to liberate land? So it was the second Caliph in Islam, Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu, or Sayyidina Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu. He was the first to liberate the land. And after a long period of time, so there was crusade. And then the Christian crusaders took over the land and ruled the land until it was liberated again by Salahuddin al-Ayyubi during the Fatimid dynasty in Egypt. So the second liberator of the land was Salahuddin al-Ayyubi. In other words, this Palestine has been changing hands from time to time, many times. But during Islamic rule, the Jews enjoyed freedom in the Islamic State. They are free to do what they like as long as they don't cause trouble in the country. But today, the Jews who have migrated to the Holy Land now, to the original land, you ask them which way they prefer to live in today's Israel or in Arab countries before. They said they prefer living in the Arab countries because they enjoy all the freedom. That is why there are two types of Jews. They call Zionist Jews, that is political Jews, and also the Orthodox Jews who oppose the Zionist movement. Okay. Because for them, according to the Torah, so they are scattered in diaspora because of their sin. So they have to accept that, according to the Torah. That is why they oppose the Zionist movement. I think that's why this, just briefly about the history of the Palestine. For us, of course, because first of all, the first Qibla is there. Secondly, the Palestinian what you call the vast majority are Muslims, so they are our brothers. So we have to feel that whatever they feel or they suffer from, we feel the same because like a single body. One part of body complain of pain, and the rest body will react with fever and sleeplessness. And that's all I have to say. Barakallahu li wa lakum fi Qur'an al-azim. ونفعني وإياكم بما فيه من الآيات والذكر الحكيم وتقبل مني ومنكم تلاوته إنه سميع العليم. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات واستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين وبه نستعين على أمور الدنيا والدين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ملك الحق المبين، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صادق الوعد الأمين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه بإحسان يوم الدين. أما بعد فيا عباد الله اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وقال تعالى إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وسلم تسليما كثيرا. اللهم ارض عن الخلفاء الراشدين المهتدين سادتنا أبي بكر عمر عثمان وعلي وعن سائر الصحابة أجمعين. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم الأموات برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم حبب إلينا الإيمان وزينه في قلوبنا وكره الكفر والفسوق والعصيان واجعلنا من الراشدين. اللهم انصر إخوان المسلمين في فلسطين، اللهم انصرهم على أعدائهم. اللهم انصر المسلمين في غزة، اللهم انصرهم على أعدائهم. اللهم دمر أعداءهم إنك على كل شيء قدير. اللهم أنت عليهم، اللهم أنت بهم يا الله يا أرحم الراحمين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون.